Dan RadioStyle, hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. A lot of us have a hard time kind of discerning or understanding what's happening to us in our lives and if it's relative to our manifestation. Now, Goddard, and I've been doing a lot of Goddard stuff for those of you that know or don't know, but Goddard frequently talks about consciousness and how it's all about consciousness. And I've been doing some videos recently on his Your Faith is Your Fortune book, and consciousness is the key. And I 100% really, the more I've been meditating on it and thinking about it, I've realized that, yeah, it truly is. And I think all the times in my life where manifestations have occurred, it's occurred because of this consciousness shift. Consciousness shifting is easy to say. A lot of us think, well, all I got to do is just imagine the thing that I desire, and that shifts my consciousness, right? Not really. I mean, it does. It's part of it, but that's not really the consciousness shift. That's imagining something. That's putting a thought out there. It's essentially creating an image of something that you're telling the universe, hey, this is basically what I'd like. Well, then the other side of it is, all right, well, so then I've just got to feel it, right? So long as I have the feeling, then bam, it's mine, right? Yeah, no, not really, but yeah. Because really the manifestation, again, it's about having the image, about the thought, and then creating a feeling. And the second that feeling runs out, it runs out and creates that in reality, right? It's happening right now. It's going to manifest. It's in the process of unfolding. It's in the process of solidifying. Is that the actual manifestation? No, it's not. The consciousness is what occurs when you feel it. When you realize at that moment that I've got this already. That second that you realize I have this and this is what it would feel like and this is what it does feel like, having it. Because you're experiencing it in your mind, you're experiencing it at that moment, at that second, at that very moment in time. It is real. It is happening at your now. It is happening. So when we're experiencing it and visualizing it, we're doing a very powerful part of this whole manifesting experience. Goddard's been cool to break it down. A lot of us try to break it down into steps and stages and things and techniques. But ultimately, it comes down to getting yourself to this place where you realize that you are the thing that you desire, or you are worthy of the thing you desire, or you are a perfect fit for the thing you desire, that this is the right thing for you. And when we realize that, that is consciousness. When we know that in our hearts, in our beings, in our soul, in our thoughts, in the way we walk around, we realize I am going to experience, I am having this. This experience is happening to me. And let it unfold. That is consciousness. Now, when we question things, when we doubt, that's when we start falling back into old consciousness. From old consciousness, and you look at where you want to go, it seems far away, it seems impossible. From new consciousness, you look at where you'd like to go, it's totally happening, it's real, and it's very possible. And you remember when you didn't think it was possible. I mean, you can see, you step up a hair higher, you can see further than you could before. So from the new consciousness, you can definitely do this. From the old consciousness, you absolutely cannot, impossible to do it. Impossible. Impossible. What? Nothing's impossible, Dan. You're right. But at your present level of consciousness, if you haven't manifested it yet, it's impossible. You must shift your consciousness up to where you already have it. So the point of why I'm talking about this is a few points. One, if we've got a life that we're drastically trying to change, I call it transition, right? If it's a major change in life, you're going to transition into that new life. You shift your consciousness. We're going to assume all of that is working perfectly. You're going to shift your consciousness, but you're going to look into your outer world and you're going to see some things happen that might seem bad. They might from the outset seem bad. Maybe it's a requirement that some relationship change or end in your life. Maybe there's a girl that's really not a good influence for your guy, not a good influence, and is really not trying to help you out with this person, your specific person. Or maybe the fact that you're friends with her is actually causing a problem. So maybe that relationship's got to end. Or maybe Maybe you've got to get closer to a friend of someone that maybe you didn't used to enjoy, but then all of a sudden you're going to find some weird common connection. You're going to realize you have more in common with them than you knew before, and they happen to be close to your specific person. Maybe your specific person needs to get into a relationship so they can understand something that you can't teach them. And then what they're going to do is have a breakup, and then they're going to be ready for you. Or maybe it happens in some other way where something seems like it's falling apart. You're trying to get a new job, new career in your life, and you suddenly get laid off. I've talked about my example where that happened to me. Maybe there's certain people in your life, because you're trying to increase your income, that are actually drainers of your energy, or are actually such negative people when it comes to income growth or when it comes to love, that really you need to shed some of these old people. We've talked about it before. If you really want to get an idea of where your consciousness is at, look at your 5 closest people in your life. They represent you. They represent you. You pushed out your 5 closest people. That's you. All of it. So if they're exemplary people, cool. If you find that you're the best of the 5, that's probably not the best place to be coming at this from. But that being said, changes are part of a transition. If you're going from one thing and then changing radically, I want to become super rich, I want to be in love and I've never been in love before, I want to meet some person I've never met, there's this transition into a different life, then things are going to happen. Don't get hung up on it. Understand that as you are transitioning, things are going to happen. But the rest of what I'm still going to be talking about in this video is still germane. It still matters. And what I want people to say, and I've talked about frequently, and I don't want it to be confusing, and Goddard's talked about it as well. You manifest the thing until you have it, and if you don't see it in your outer world yet, then you keep doing the manifestation process, or you keep knowing that it's in process. You keep knowing that it's unfolding. You keep knowing that it's flowing and happening, and you allow it to do so. But what's really cool about your outer world is it's going to actually show you how you're doing relative to your manifestation. You're trying to create something in your life and it's maybe not happened yet. Maybe you're even struggling a little bit. Maybe it's frustrating. Good example of someone, I'm not going to point her out, but there's someone that I've been in touch with. I've desperately tried. I've even gone out of my way and written separate emails to. Like, I have really, really tried to help this individual. But this individual is so wrapped up in their mind, so wrapped up in trying to do the techniques, but everywhere they look, they don't see anything. That they're in this weird, horrible state. It's a really tough place to be when you're in this total crazy kind of, I'm doing everything. I don't know why it's not working. I'm trying. I want it so badly. I have to have it. And you're a mess emotionally. Not you, particularly anybody that's going through this. I've done it before. You're a mess when you get so caught up and so lost that you can't even stop to smell the roses, that you can't stop long enough to see if anything's even working, that all you can do is try technique, don't see it yet, try technique, don't see it yet, try technique, don't see it yet, gonna go to bed. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up, try technique and don't see it again, try technique and don't see it again. It doesn't work. So from those standpoints, sometimes you gotta pull yourself the heck away from this, give yourself a chance, take some deep breaths, figure out where you're going, figure out where you want to go, figure out what matters and doesn't matter. I mean, in the case of this particular person, it's actually kind of like a sort of functioning relationship. And then, unfortunately, they start to really care about the person the second they show a little interest. And then they glom onto them. And then the guy pushes her away. And that's her yo-yo. And she keeps going through it. And so she's not happy when they're not together or close. And when they're together and close, she's so kind of crazy clingy, that it makes it difficult for the guy to have a relationship. So we're in this perpetual back and forth. Things are good, things are bad, things are good, things are bad. We can notice when we pay attention to our outer world where we're at in this whole ebb and flow. Now, granted, you get your consciousness set, you get it in a good place, and you just stay there and you keep focusing on that, and you're not necessarily having problems jumbling in and out of your life. What you're going to find is you're going to see occasional things. Maybe you're trying to manifest your specific person. So now all of a sudden you've got a friend in your life that's just found love. Or you see lovers everywhere. It's odd. I saw this guy coming out. He was buying red roses. I saw the lady in the car and how her face lit up when he walked up and gave them to her. I'm seeing couples holding hands, walking on the beach, kissing. You're seeing indications in your outer world that what you are manifesting is happening. It's showing itself. It's sprinkling itself into your world. And conversely, if you're trying to create a relationship with someone and you're hoping to manifest and you're doing all these techniques and everywhere you look, you see anger, you see frustration, you see couples fighting, you see people not getting along, you see people scrubbing over money, that's an indication that something is out of balance in your world. Sure, you're doing the techniques, you're doing them fantastically. Something else is at work in your consciousness, and that's what you're experiencing. So if you're coming at it from that angle and you're seeing all this stuff around you that you don't particularly like, that's okay. Let's change what we've been doing. Let's change what we're thinking. Again, the consciousness is when you get to that feeling of realizing that you're the thing that you already desire. If you're truly at the place where you're the thing you already desire, you're not going to see all this negative slough. You're not going to see all this negative stuff. You're not going to see that. What you're going to see is examples of lovers walking through parks. You're going to see brand new love movies coming out. Someone's going to recommend a great book to you, and it happens to be a love story. Like, there's going to be all these great things. You're going to see people that look just like your specific person. You're going to bump into people that have the same name. You're going to decide that you're going to see restaurants that you want to hang out together. You're going to see things unfold that are going to demonstrate the thing that you're creating. If you're not seeing that, again, it's okay. We can always change. You can always change your mind. You can go 5 years down the same path, manifest a whole bunch of things and be like, it's not what I want. I want to manifest a different life. Now, if you got kids and some baggage, as they call it, well, your baggage comes with you. You buy luggage, you stick with it. That's how it goes. But we can transition and make changes in our life and use what's going on in the outer world as an assessment of what's going on in your inner world. It always starts inside, as within, so without, right? It always starts with inside you, and then it gets created out onto the screen, the movie screen of our lives. If you're not liking the movie that's playing right now, it's because the projector, your consciousness, is shooting something out that doesn't make sense. If you're seeing stuff that contradicts the fact that I'm trying to find my specific person. For example, I see people that are fighting all the time. Are you angry with your specific person? Are they not behaving a specific way? Are they not texting you back when you send the stuff out? You do in your own mornings, like you have your little technique. I love you, I love you, I love you, I feel you. We're going to be together. And then you text them, I love you, I just couldn't resist. I hope you're having a good day. Crickets. Don't hear anything back. Don't hear anything back. And now all of a sudden you start getting frustrated. You start getting angry. That is your consciousness. The anger. The techniques are great. You got yourself there for a moment. You were feeling it. It was real. And then you pop back into your old consciousness. Or like I'd mentioned, when Goddard mentions, like your old pair of shoes. Like you're going back to the old man. You're going back to the way it was. Rather than keeping the new pair of shoes on and breaking them in and dealing with the fact that it feels a little awkward, but I'm going to keep wearing them. If you go back to the old shoes, you will go back to your old ways. If you're seeing old ways in your life, if you're seeing negative things showing up in your life, if you're seeing the complete opposite of what it is that you're trying to manifest, it indicates that somewhere inside of you in your consciousness, the complete opposite of what you want is present, and powerfully so. Now, if you're seeing mixed messages, well, that's a good sign. That means you're actually kind of in between. That's good. That's a kind of an easier place to come from. No offense. That just means you need to kind of slough off a little more of the negative consciousness aspects, the old shoes. You got to keep the new shoes on more. You keep wanting to take them off and put on the old ones just for a little while. Then I want to put the new shoes on again, and I'm going to do it. But I just want to wear the old ones for a little while. They're just comfortable. I gravitate to them. You're in between. You're mixing and matching. You need to make sure that you keep yourself in that energy more often. If you've got to remind yourself, man, this is happening. This is totally working out. I can see evidence of it. This is awesome. One, when you're doing that, you're acknowledging within your own self that I am this thing. I'm pressed, as the video I just did recently. I am creating this. I am that I am. Meaning I'm conscious, I'm acknowledging my conscious. That thing over there, I'm also that. I am that also. I am that I am. I'm acknowledging and it's me. I am the thing that I desire. Period. End of story. If you're seeing fluctuations in that, if you're totally off base, if you're completely frazzled, pay attention to what's going on inside of you. And if you are all over the place like this lovely, dear, poor person, I love you, baby. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I feel so bad for you. I've been in that place. It is basically hell in my mind when you are constantly back and forth doing the techniques. I love them. And then I don't see them anywhere. To the techniques. I love them. I don't see them anywhere. It's very frustrating, very, very exhausting. In these cases, just take a step back for a moment. Your consciousness is totally jacked. You're in and out and going back and forth. Step back from it for a second. Find your center of gravity. Let go of all this external crap, every bit of it. Find your internal bliss. Find whatever it is that makes you happy. Find happiness first inside you. And then go back to the techniques and work on bringing a different life to yourself. But if it is that frustrating, something's out of whack, something's out of kilter. Try to look at what's going on in your life to try to assess where you're at. In my opinion, and I mean, trust me, don't trust me, it's up to you. I want you to prove it to yourself. But I am 100% sure law of attraction works. 100% sure. Now, do I get 100% of everything I ask for? No, there's sometimes things I think either A, supersede, B, I change my mind, C, might alter my life path in a way that keeps me from getting where I know I need to go. There are, I think, and many can disagree, but I can definitely and have seen and experienced situations where if I would have gotten what I asked for, it would have affected and changed my life in ways that I didn't necessarily want. If someone had given me a giant pile of cash many, many years ago, I really do think it would have changed who I was. I don't think I would have pushed as hard. I don't think I would have learned what struggle was and why we don't need to do it. I don't think I would have learned all these valuable lessons that I picked up. Not to mention, I got to do a bunch of really cool jobs. Really cool jobs. I've had a lot of fun. I've enjoyed my life. We are on a journey. We are constantly getting and receiving what we ask for. Sometimes we don't notice the little dark moments where we're asking for something we don't want. And we don't think we do it. We don't hear ourselves do it. We're not really noticing it. But if you're not at that place where your life is demonstrating to you that you are walking on the path that you desire and mean to be, look inward. Look at those silent moments. Look at the places where you doubt. Look at the times where you have questions. Look into that aspect. It's giving you an indication. If you're seeing negativity in your world, there's negativity inside you that needs some love. If you're seeing doubt in your world, there's doubts inside your mind. If you're seeing people cheating on others, you're afraid of infidelity. We have to move through these fears. We have to let go of these thoughts and parts of our consciousness if we're ever going to have a life without cheating, a life without fear, a life without being ignored, a life without all the things that we don't want to experience. Your consciousness keeps things alive and sheds things. Let's make sure the things we're shedding are the parts of ourselves we don't like. And let's make sure the parts of ourselves that we do like, the parts of ourselves that we'd like to experience, are the things that we're adding and making bigger and creating and expanding our consciousness. As we do that, as you shift your consciousness into the I am that I am, your dreams unfold in front of your eyes. Dan RadioStyle.